Hello everybody, Belmont here, and today we're going to be talking about something that affects us all. We're going to be talking about cancer. And some terrific news, some strides in research have been made. As a matter of fact, what could be a very short time from now, we could have a cure for cancer. Is it a new type of chemotherapy? What is it? Well, it's reprogramming our T cells. And T cells are immune cells. They're the cells for our immune system. They're pretty much the generals of the anti-disease cells that circulate through our blood. See, what makes cancer so difficult for our T cells to tackle is the fact that tumors have an ability to mutate and constantly change its form, thus tricking our T cells until it's too late. That's the reason why chemotherapy works, because it pretty much kills everything in the body. That's what chemo does. But scientists of what's this called here? Oh yeah, immunotherapy. As a matter of fact, one of the pioneers, Mr. Carl June, there is an FDA-approved imlygic genetically engineered virus. Now, I know you might be thinking, oh man, this is Resident Evil 6, it's a virus, it's going to kill us. No. What this virus does, it reprograms our T cells in order to tackle tumors, to take them out. And it's FDA approved already. It has actually been approved for quite some time, actually, since late 2015. They're still doing research on how it could apply to all forms of cancer. Every form of cancer, it mutates differently. And it can mutate in several different ways. But what this does, this programs our T cells to pretty much kill it, to kill the tumor. We just need to develop how it reprograms it. It pretty much, it's an engineered T cell, engineered immune cell. So it's artificial immune cells called chimeric antigen receptors, otherwise known as CAR T cells. Not CART cells, CAR T cells. They're modified cells. So when a tumor mutates, the T cells that we normally have can't find it. And what these modified T cells do is they're able to find it. But because tumors mutate in so many different varieties, they have to add a new variety to stop it within the vaccine. Now, because what we're receiving is, in fact, a virus, and how it works with our body is once our body conquers this virus, any tumor that comes around can defeat it. Of course, this is all theoretical, but it so far has shown very promising work with melanoma. Reason why they use melanoma is because melanoma is usually one of the very earliest detected cancers out there, because it's on your skin, it's on your face. You notice it a lot more than you would notice breast cancer or prostate cancer. You would notice it as soon as it starts. So if the cell receptor cure does not work, you are still able to get some kind of chemotherapy, maybe even a biopsy, to just take it out, one and done, if you will. Now, the imlygic and CART are two different things, but they both use viruses to ignite an immune response. So, of course, that does have side effects. The side effects are usually, from what I've been able to find on my research, is high fevers, which is actually a good sign, because a fever is your body fighting it. That's what it feels like. So when you're sick, it's not the virus that's messing you up, it's your body's answer to the virus. It needs that. It needs that fever so that it can actually take out the virus or bacteria, whatever happens to be in you at that time. And so, basically, tumors do form and they multiply, as I've previously discussed. they mutate, if you will. So more and more keeps getting added to this particular virus. Now, ideally, what's going to happen is they will eventually have every form that tumor mutates into. That's every form of cancer. And it'll all be in one vaccine. So this can destroy tumors. Cancer can, and in my opinion, it will be a thing of the past. Hopefully, this technology can be available to people within a couple of years, maybe a decade. So if you think you might have cancer, please go to the doctor, get yourself checked. Just because I mention this does not mean that it's available at your doctor's right now. Even though it is FDA approved, it doesn't mean you could just waltz into an office and say, "Hey, you got that car pill? I want it. I want the vaccine. Gimme. It doesn't work like that. And I'm pretty sure that these cures are going to be exceedingly expensive to produce because you're producing multiple viruses. That requires a level of security in your laboratory. That's expensive. It also requires a plethora of supplies needed to generate this chemical. Or virus, if you will. Technically, it would most likely be in chemical form, so it will most likely be a shot because that is directly into your bloodstream rather than eating it like in a pill, because upon doing that, what happens is it could get stuck in your throat, it could be stuck in areas where your immune system might not be able to receive it, or the capsule could be too thick on it and you would wind up passing it through your body, thus giving yourself false hope for no reason. So that is the major news. Carl June is a leader in this therapy research. And hopefully I got every single finger possible crossed that this will in fact happen. So in my opinion, the University of Pennsylvania's very own Carl June is a brilliant man, and hopefully his therapy that he is leading in this immunotherapy will defeat cancer. And on a similar note, when it comes to the field of medical science, there's also in the works a cure for one of the most dangerous viruses in the history of mankind. This thing infects 400 million people a year. Causes high fever, severe headaches, vomiting, death. It affects 40% of the world's population is at risk of this thing. It's called dengue fever. Now, how dengue fever works is it's transmitted through mosquitoes. Big surprise, huh? Well, unfortunately, dengue fever is technically 4 different viruses. There's 4 viruses that cause this. That's why it's been so difficult to find a cure for it, because one cure for one virus will often lead to the other one being exasperated or made worse. But finally, it has been developed. It took them 20 years to do this. But they finally developed a vaccine that protects against all 4 of the viruses. This is major news. Dengue fever could be a thing of the past, and if 20% of the population got vaccinated, dengue fever the cases would drop by 50% within 5 years. This would reduce the cost that this disease is, because this disease costs global economies $9 billion a year. That would not having to develop $9 billion would be a huge benefit to the global economy. And that is out as of, actually, let's see, according to any research I'm looking up right now, click here. Yeah, I cannot say whether or not it's released, whether or not it's out. I'm pretty sure it is, because all my evidence points to yes, that it is currently available. It is most likely available in doctors for third world countries where dengue fever happens to hit. Dengue fever is the hot zones are Brazil, the Philippines. It's a jungle disease. It's something for the rainforest and hot, humid temperatures where the mosquito that promotes this silly little virus, the you know what? It's a mosquito. Okay? I'm not going to get in a scientific name. I can't pronounce it. It is a mosquito. But then again, when it comes to mosquitoes in South America and those tropical climate areas, there's a lot of them. And it's also very easy that particular virus can possibly go into other mosquitoes as well. So it's really not that big a deal about which particular one has it, because it can be transmitted to others. So, yeah, the cure for dengue fever, the cure for cancer, that sounds very great. And hopefully, we will be 5 years from now, we will be talking about dengue fever and cancer as if they're in the past. So many hearts would not be broken. Well, at the very least, one can always hope. That's something nothing can ever take away from you. And as we cross the threshold into a new year, I just wanted to say thank you very much for all the support I've gotten. I wish you and yours a very happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And I hope you have a very prosperous new year. Thank you for listening. Farewell.